Welcome back to the
Hey,
channel. We are back this time reviewing King of Pro Wrestling, and oh boy, what a show! We got a lot to talk about, don't we?
indeed. Don't forget to watch. Good to see you, Ash. Good to see everybody once again here at Patty's Army. Again, if you haven't already, I highly encourage you, simply put, to subscribe. Don't be a dickhead. It's great to be back here with you once again, discussing New Japan Pro Wrestling as we are truly on the road to Wrestle Kingdom 20. And as we talked about before, this lays so much groundwork towards January 4th. And what is being anticipated right now is the fastest selling Wrestle Kingdom event in New Japan Pro Wrestling history. Again, apologies to you and everybody that was looking forward to a live watch along. I just was not feeling well at the end of the day, but I'm feeling much better now. I'm glad to do this with Ash. So, Ash, let's chat about it.
So, where do we want to start off? Do you want to start from the top, from the bottom, or work the bottom to the top?
I mean, you're the moderator here. I'm just with you for the ride. You're the freaking, the Walter Stewart. I'm just your Chris Charlton. But if you want to do the card in order, I say you go about that route. It's your program.
All right. So, I didn't watch two matches, and those were like the special tag matches. All I will say for that is, it's nice seeing Hiroki Goto back.
Indeed.
This is like, I wasn't sure how long he was going to be out for injury, but I guess the elbow injury wasn't as severe as we thought. So for him to be back this early is pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, the Goto Revolution. Honestly, I look at Goto and how long it took him to get to that title when he finally got it, and the pop from Osaka back in February. It felt like it breathed New Japan Pro Wrestling life, new life. It was like one of the biggest ovations, biggest draws, the biggest investments, I think, by the New Japan faithful, where you look at Hiroki Goto, he's kind of the last guard of the previous generation. Where we look at New Japan now that has been heavily ruled lately by this new generation of bright, young, hungry, up-and-comers and so much. People coming back from excursion, etc. You think about Goto's run being nostalgia-based, basically. Going coming the demons of his past, David Finlay, taking on Blue Justice, Yuji Nagata, taking on the Ace New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. It kind of surprised me that his run went that route, but in a way it doesn't, because again, he's traditionalist. Goto is as traditional to New Japan as anybody I've seen in the 20 plus years I've followed it.
Right? It's just like the Goto's run, it's a mixture of old and new, like new up and coming talents that can take the mantle, and his brother that helped shape New Japan to make it is what it is today.
Right. Yeah, and of course, to your point, that trios match, we did see Hiroki Goto get the GTR win over TMDK's Ryo Oiwa, Kosei Fuji, and Hartley Jackson. Hartley Jackson being the go-to Revolution as a Goto returned to find former Bishamon partner and Chaos running mate Yo, of course, in that trios action. Again, it was Goto's return back to action, simply put. And clearly the return is to get back to where he was, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, which we'll talk more about later.
Right? Because at Tanahashi Jams, like I'm convinced that Zach was not supposed to win that match because of the abrupt ending to the match with the referee stoppage. And even the look of Zach's surprise, like the look of surprise on Zach's face is like, wait, what? Like, I mean, we'll get to it when we get to it for the IWGP Heavyweight title, because oh boy, do I got a lot to say about that.
The main event, of course. But that being said, do you want to start now at the beginning?
Yeah, let's start with the opening match. This was a solid opening match. I am not familiar with these women. Suri and Suri. Am I saying their names right?
Suri and Suri.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not that good with
trust me, it's very easy to get tongue twists with these names. I do it all the time. Right. But straight up, this is everything I wanted when it comes to what IWGP represents and what women in IWGP can represent. This was incredible.
It was. It's like, as for like my introduction to these, who I've never seen before, it makes me want to watch more of them, and that's what you want, is like, especially for like a first time and new viewers. Like when you see these people wrestle, you want to be like, wow, they're good. I want more of them. Give me more of these too.
Well, again, this is Joshi's. This is Japanese strong style. These are two of the most lethal, legitimate badass women you would see in the ring. Of course, transitioning Suri, of course, from UFC and MMA, still undefeated, by the way, in UWF bouts. Former
Nice.
Women's Champion Saray, the Sun God, who came from Marigold after losing the Marigold World Championship to Utami Hayashishita, of course known as the Sun God, arguably the best Joshi wrestler this year, not named Mayu the star icon that went to Marigold. But yeah, it was interesting seeing Saray beat Shuri for this title after Shuri beat Mayu Iwatani to get earlier this year. And now, of course, the two stand 1-1, and this was their rubber. It was also interesting because we just saw Saray defend this against Windsor at Ring of Honor in a tremendous match. You can actually watch that in full on YouTube, folks, and I highly encourage it. Which is also interesting, bridging all those gaps, because Suri, when she was champion, that was Alice Windsor's one of her last matches in pro wrestling before she became fully all elite. So these two have really defined each other's careers over this year, and it was really about who was stronger, to be the strongest. The definition of strength goes above and beyond what you can do from a physical standpoint, but it's that mental fortitude, that emotional warfare, the drive to prove that you are better than everybody else, but you also make everyone else better for that. And I do think that's one of the black clouds that the Sun God has had towards her, because she does believe she's on another level above everybody else. Very rarely does someone test her in a way that tests how strong she is this year. She's only put a few people in that conversation. Suri is one of them. The other one, of course, is Suzuki, Crazy Girl. And that was one of her best matches this year. So I was surprised to see Suri get this title back, but I'm extremely happy for her. And these two kick the crap out of each other and headbutt each other into oblivion.
Like, you want to talk about like hard hitting and like evenly matched? That's what this match was. Like, like these, they especially how do you say her name? Suri.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, the heel work she did in this match was really solid. Like, she was nasty. Like, she was nasty and dirty. Like, oh my God.
She doesn't play around, legitimately. She doesn't play around, all right? If you're going to beat her, you're going to prove how strong you are to beat her. And Suri proved that despite the fact she was dropped on her head like 4 different times with those freaking dangerous Saito-level suplexes. But at the end of the day, Suri not only buzzsaw kicked her head up, shout out to, of course, one of her great trainers, Taiji. And, of course, Takumi Shinoku, who played heavy favor in her as well. But then, of course, dropped him with a finisher. And the leader of God's Eye, the Eye of God's Eye, is once again the strongest woman associated with the letters IWGP. Now a 2-time IWGP Women's Champion. But it does make me wonder what's next for Saray, who just came from Marigold when she lost the world title there. And just went for the 5-star Grand Prix, lost out there, has been involved in Stardom now. Does she continue to go stronger through Stardom? Does she continue to test her strength to become stronger in a different promotion? I'm very curious to see what's next for the Sun God and for Suri, for that matter, to see who challenges her for this title and where she takes it. But incredible start by the queens of pro wrestling, in my opinion.
I've been hearing many good things about Stardom. I just haven't been able to, make the time for it. or like, where's a good starting point for?
Well, you got YouTube, and they actually put up most of Saya Kamatani's The World of Stardom Champions matches in full. So that's a good starting point right there. Starlight Kid's another one to watch. Azuki just came back, now a 2-belt champion. Hanan, Hina, and Hanako, and Rina, they are some of the brightest stars. 3 of them are sisters, by the way, in Stardom as well. But I would definitely start with Saya Kamatani and Starlight Kid, if nothing else. Plus, Bozilla, now part of Stardom, part of Susan Suzuki's faction, Vita Logan. Of course, not talking about Stardom here. That's the Stardom podcast. You want to learn more about Stardom? Listen to them. I highly encourage it. But also, I have sources. I know how to watch Stardom World, because Stardom World works much like NJPW It's just a different service.
Okay, fair enough.
Again, I watch all things wrestling.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea. I have no idea how the hell you make time for it. Like,
you watch the highlights for this and that. You look at the big shows when you can. You set a schedule when you can watch certain big shows, and you go from there. I still have to get ready to watch so much ahead outside of course, we're coming this weekend. But talk more about that later. Again, the ways of the simple, man. It's simple. But anyway, again, I'm glad you, for the first time, you were exposed to Stardom talent. First time you're exposed to Saray and Shuri, who have defined a lot of this year for the Joshi pro wrestling scene. So I'm glad you got to watch them.
Man, 2025 is a good year for women's wrestling, isn't it?
Damn it.
On all throughout like the world and across the board.
For real, legitimately. I said when we covered Evolution in WWE, women in wrestling, while still not to the same level as we look at men in wrestling because it's a male dominated business, the evolution, the rise, the presentation, and the drive of women in wrestling is stronger than ever. And I
Mhm,
absolutely love what they do. Kick ass in the ring, look damn good doing it. Don't let
mhm,
up.
mhm.
Seriously. So
Right?
that's up to the men.
Especially like in North America, where sure we still got a long way to go, but we're not as like far back from where we were. Like
Exactly.
we are like in a lot better position from where we were previous. That
Well,
especially like in women's wrestling, that where like women are like sure I oogle at them too, but they're a lot more than just eye candy, and it's about time like people are finally starting to realize and see that.
yeah, exactly. And I'm sure we'll see more of Saray and Shuri in the near future, not just outside the Cerulean Blue or the Wonder World Stardom ring, with the Goddess of Stardom Tag League coming up and Stardom's next big show, Crimson Nightmare, coming up, where Saya Kamtai would defend her World Stardom Championship against the 5-star Grand Prix winner, Momo Watanabe. Also a faction member, both women in the same faction.
Ooh, a little bit of like infighting between faction members. That could
Well,
be interesting.
there's a bigger underlying story there, I think. But again, I'll talk more about that later in my downtime or on the next AEW View Impromptu because that's where I pretty much go all out on all things wrestling. Shout out to AEW fam. Anyway, Ash, let's go ahead and continue. Again, congratulations to Siri, now a two-time IWGP Women's Champion.
Yes, congrats to her. And then we move on from there to Drilla Maloney versus Sonata, and what is like a what's it called, a riot in Ryogoku?
Hi.
Like I okay. I only have like I have two issues with this match, and those are the only gripes I have on this. Otherwise, which was a pretty solid street fight.
Go for it.
One, it wasn't violent enough. Like I get they both busted each other open, but I could like they could have went like a little bit more further. Like I'm not expecting for like them to go like super crazy, but it's supposed to be a blood feud, right? I did get blood, but there wasn't that much heat to it.
Yeah.
And second, there's no rules, right?
No, the Ryan and Ryogoku was literally coming down to pinfall submission inside the
Mhm.
ring. Anything goes. And the reason it was turned into a rise because Drew Maloney, of course, asked for it to be turned that or I was going to bring your best friend. And Sonata doesn't give a damn about his faction, his house of torture. He says that guitar is worth more than your life and what you make in a freaking year. The guitar man wanted him. When Drew Maloney drilled that guitar in the Yoshinobu Kamaru's head, Sonata lost it.
Right? I loved how that played into the finish match. The other issue is because of its no rules. Why did they have to? Why did the House of Torture wait until a fucking ref bump to come in just to attack him? They could have just been there from the beginning.
I No one understands House of Torture, the worst professional wrestling, in my opinion, that comes out when you least want them to, and just in general. I was more confused by why were there two Sonatas, one that looked like a mirror ball, and the other one with the boombox speaker jacket. What was that about?
I'm like listening and watching the and just like this dude is ridiculous. Like, oh,
He is.
this dude.
Human beings being interesting. Have you looked in the mirror or your mirror ball suit? What are you, Sonata? What the hell's he become?
Right. I will say this: what I like about Sonata joining House of Torture is that we get the reuniting of Sonata and Evil, possibly as a tag team, because I miss those two tagging together. They were one of my favorite tag teams in New Japan Pro Wrestling because they just complement each other so well. Because it's just what it's like when they're separate, like they're lacking something. Like Sonata, he has all the in-ring ability, but not much of a character and charisma. Whereas Evil is the complete opposite, where he's all character, all charisma, not that much in the ring. But when you put the two together, they just make one solid, cohesive unit where they play off each other's strengths and weaknesses so well.
Well, I mean, there's a reason they're two-time World Tag League winners, and both, of course, culminated in IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. So again, you're not too far off there,
Mhm.
and that very well could be the case again in the World Tag League, which of course follows after we get through the Super Junior Tag League. That closes out the year ahead of the Road to Tokyo Dome, as per usual.
So there is World Tag League happening.
I imagine it has to be. Why wouldn't there be? I mean, it's been going on since trying to think of the first time I actually remember it happening or last time it didn't happen, but it's kind of been a consistent thing with the Best Super Juniors tag league because
Mhm.
they both set the precipice towards who's going to go in with those titles and who's going to go in to challenge for said titles at Wrestle Kingdom. Of course, last year, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships and the NW Strong Openweight Championships merged together. And then, of course, a previous year, I'm trying to think what happened at Wrestle Kingdom 18. Again, that's all. It all just runs together. It's
Yeah.
all blurs. Sometimes I can't remember everything in wrestling, but either way, Bishamon. That's right, Bishamon. Bishamon, of course, IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions hold the record now. I think they've won 3 years in a row in the
They
World
did,
Tag.
yeah.
Yeah, World Tag has been a precipice in New Japan. But as far as this, look, first off, Sonata don't bleed. Sonata bled. So yeah, it was
Mhm.
violent. It was a blood feud. So I think they did get the blood out there. And Sonata's not used to this type of warfare. He's not used to this world. But also,
Mhm.
it is a long-term Bruffian story when you think about Sonata betrayed the War Dogs
Mhm.
1 year ago. Mu goes from Aki and Pro Wrestling when he cost them the 6-man weight championships at the then championship time, freaking House of Torture, and joined them after betraying David Finlay when David Finlay's going to learn. So
Right?
this made a lot of sense. And personally, I'm just glad anytime House Torture don't win, it's a good day for me. I wanted Joe Malloy to do what Clark Connor said. Shout out to Wilson, by the way. Kill
Yeah.
kids, bleeping blank. And he brained him. And
Mhm.
even though Sonata got 2 and out, I think Drew Maloney's was a bigger smash hit as Driller got the win with the Driller Killer. So
Right?
hopefully this means that the War Dogs can put the House of Torture behind them because I think we've really seen a resurgence in the War Dogs when it comes to respect and the support the New Japan faithful have for them to raise the value of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Iron
Mhm.
sharpens iron, as we talk about here.
Mhm.
Savage or not, you can't argue that the War Dogs have made New Japan fight harder.
Exactly. And I also like how they telegraphed how Sonata was going to betray the Bullet Club War Dogs because if you look back and remember at the New Japan Cup finals where David Finlay won, everyone in War Dogs was there except for Sonata.
Yep.
And I love before like the finish, like before Drilla hit him not only with the guitar but also with the Drilla Killer. The comedic way in which Sonata was trying to get in like a low blow and just Drilla just gets out the way. It was just so hilarious.
You got nothing left. Sonata, you're a bag of tricks. You got nothing left behind them, and Drilla has seen them, and he wasn't going to stop at nothing after you forked his brains out practically. But dadgum, there was definitely enough foreplay here. Freaking Abdullah be proud of that. But yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't expect Abdullah to lose this because this was 1 year stewing, and it
Mhm.
escalated, particularly during the Road to Destruction tour. So Drilla had to take this,
Yeah.
right or not.
Right. And before we move on, I'm gonna mention this. Like I gotta comment on this. The breakout year Drill Maloney had, especially like as he transcended into the world heavyweights. Yeah, the heavyweight division. Really solid. Like he fits in that division so well.
Yeah, he carries himself like a top heavyweight as well that can hang with anybody. As Shingo Takagi learned the hard way, though he got his comeuppance back. And for a debut run in the G1, Drew Maloney was a force to be reckoned with for quite a duration of it. Of course, now Clark Connors, of course, War Dogs staying together. That does mean Drew Maloney and Clark Connors will not be going in together as a
Mhm.
tag team. Clark Connors, of course, is still the heaviest of the junior heavyweights. So I'm
Yeah.
very curious to see how Clark Connors plays in the Super Junior Tag League, if not at all, or what's his future hold in store. But it's good to know that Drilla and Clark still stand together for one another. And yes, folks, I'm aware that they probably have the teams up on NJPW.com. We're not talking about that tonight. Maybe we'll do a preview of the Super Junior Tag League another time. Stay tuned. I'm sure Ash has plenty of ideas for future chats that she can give you solo with others, or who knows. I might be with her on the call. I'm always happy to support her. But yeah, again, this was worthwhile revenge for the War Dogs. 1 year in the making. And why you didn't look at the other special 6-man, speaking of War Dogs, Shingo, Hiromu, and Titan of the unaffiliated took on David Finlay, Tachimori, and Clark Connors. And David Finlay somehow when it comes to game mentality and trios warfare, looking at two of the best here because it's pretty tit for tat, move for move, blow for blow, all 6-man 1 point colliding down the ring. But David Finlay did get the better, obliterating Teton in the end with buckle bomb, power bomb, overkill, taken to another level, and got the win for the War Dogs. It feels like
Damn.
the War Dogs and the unaffiliated have shaped themselves a lot this year, particularly.
Like those two teams, like not only did the War Dogs were feuding with the unaffiliated, but also dealing with House of Torture shenanigans as well. So they had a lot on their plate to deal with this year.
It feels like both the unaffiliated and the War Dogs are trying to move forward away from the House of Torture, which I don't freaking blame them.
Right?
Anyway, moving on.
Next up we have is, okay, before we preface this, I want to say this. A couple weeks ago, I think it was, I was on one of James' podcasts, Wrestling with Tism. You can check on Twitter every Monday.
Keep plug.
We were talking, I forgot what happened, but I ended up doing a rant on the TV title and how it was being treated. Because it seems like the title was forgotten about. Because it's been how long since it was defended? Yeah, too long, exactly.
Fair point.
It's just like, even Phantasm himself says, like, hey, did you guys forget I'm the champion? Where's my challengers at? And I'm looking at it, it's like, oh, hey, they remembered it existed. We got El Phantasmo versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, in which was a really solid match.
Yeah, and it also went to a draw. As again, we're talking about Tanahashi's final road. Of course, his final road will culminate January 4th in the Tokyo Dome. That's one of the reasons why, again, this is the fastest selling Wrestle Kingdom to date. Wrestle Kingdom 20, of course, coming up that we will be covering here. And one way or another, stay tuned. Me and Ash are definitely going to both preview and review that shit, I assure you.
I absolutely.
Yes.
I will make the time for that.
You and I will personally make the time for
it. Absolutely, yeah.
Stay tuned for that. And then ELP celebrating 20 years in wrestling. And going back last year to Ryogoku, it was Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi that got ELP out of his funk, of course, last year. That brought him to light. And then, of course, he made that announcement. But yeah, as far as the World Television Championship, of course, Hiroshi Tanahashi, previous champion, he beat your boy, Zack Sabre Jr., for it literally at Wrestle Kingdom, lest we forget, folks. Just saying. And it's just one of those things right now that I look at Hiroshi Tanahashi. Yeah, I can see him wanting one more championship before he puts the boots away. But El Phantasmo, he was out here to also prove a point, how valuable this championship is and how much he's grown and how much he's going to continue to take New Japan as far as Tanahashi did. And it went to a 15-minute draw. I was kind of surprised with the draw factor. Honestly, it looked like it was really lingering. Like, I thought at one point that ELP was going to get the win, but when he freaking screwed up his knee, it basically turned into a defensive battle for the champion. So I can kind of see why they went that route. But I don't think it made either man look weak. If nothing else, I think it lit a fire for ELP to prove how important this championship is. You're right. New Japan may not recognize it, but it's the champion that needs to make the championship matter. At the end of the day, it's a TV championship. You would finish being more presented and more present than other championships here, considering you can get 15 minutes within, and that's what this is about at the end of the day. You represent what New Japan is and what someone can do within 15 minutes. That's what it's about. Exposure. There's a reason why you literally can find any NJPW television match on YouTube at NJPW.com. But I thought this was a really respectable bout, and at the end of the day, ELP gave Tanahashi the ring to soak in the Ryogoku crown one time. It's the last time he's going to perform in that building. I didn't expect the title change, but I definitely commend the 15-minute effort by both.
That's what I love about the television title. It's amazing how much these wrestlers can pack within the 15-minute time limit.
Exactly.
And this was like a very good, like, both of them, because they're both Tanahashi and ELP are exceptional high flyers. So them doing like their high spots was just amazing to see. Even Tanahashi at his age, like when he goes to the top rope, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure, because he is literally on his last legs, but he was able to hold up.
You know he's going to try and pull as many high fly full as he can before January 4th, Ash. Let's just call it what it is, all right?
Right.
The man has no fear, never wavers, never tires. And to your point about the television championship, we were dealing with the G1 Climax, to be fair, all right? The last time he defended it was June against Taiji Ishimori.
Fair enough, I suppose. But I mean, come on. Like,
Look, I do get what you mean. I'm just saying.
it like, listen, I don't expect to have the title run like how that be like. I don't expect every champion to be like Zack Sabre Jr. to
Right.
like the level of amounts of he defended it. But
Right.
I mean, at least I want like some story elements to it. You know, if we're not gonna like have these challenger of the week type stuff, at least give us feuds and reasons to care for the title.
Okay, that's fair. So, do you think that the Ultimate Championship should be more of an open challenge statement for someone to take a chance, and ELP is the one that presents that, or do you think we have to try and set this up to the point that he finds his own feud or his own opponent to take him on for it? Let's not forget, at one point,
Mhm.
Hiroki Goto used the Heavyweight Championship for that against Kota Ibushi, and it was his undoing.
Mhm. We can like do a mixture of both, like because that's how Zach Tyler's reign was. He's like he called out challengers and then people and challengers, and then we got like a little bit of a feud between him and Jeff Cobb for the title. So
Oh.
it could work. It could work. It's just yeah.
Fair enough. And also out of this, let's not forget what ELP also asked for that didn't happen last year. He and Hiroshi Tanahashi will be a tag team in this year's World Tag League.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a solid tag team to watch.
So Tanahashi does still have a chance to become a tag team champion, possibly, which again, he's no stranger to. If you look at that
Mhm.
60-minute long video of Tanahashi's career sum up, he's won every championship in New Japan, including what the Never Championship was in its genesis, the U30 title. Speaking of,
For that never open weight title match. Oh man, we're gonna get a rent. We don't even have to pay a super chat or PayPal for it.
Continue.
Oh man, Bolton Oleg defending his championship against Evil. Oh my god, I will say this about Bolton Oleg. Even though he lost the title, he still looked strong in defeat, though. Like, it took a hell of a lot for House of Torture to bring him down.
Of course, the clown posse had to bring all the damn clowns in play.
Whoop, whoop.
Fucking hell. The last time the man held the championship, he gave Tomoshi the worst match in the freaking Stone Pitbull's career. He made a mockery of this title. The definition of weak dick bitch, not bad motherfucker. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Are you fucking kidding me? We're going back to this trope because you can't help but have House of Torture hold gold and degrade and bastardize the value of professional wrestling. Bullshit.
I mean, actually, I can't even defend this. I'm a House of Torture opinion, even I can't defend this.
I rest my case, Your Honor. Yeah, Bolton Oleg again, defending man, proud man, strong man with pride, but unfortunately, he's a one-man army against a army of dark clowns and idiots that don't know their own potential, so they have to resort to this tomfoolery and pathetic nature in professional wrestling. And yes, as we of course saw afterwards, the newest signing in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Olympic gold medalist. I'm just so fucking mad right now. The title I love so much is back at this shit. Olympic gold medalist judoka Aaron Wolf has challenged Evil for Wrestle Kingdom. Now, Evil being a weak dick bitch, I don't expect him to put up the Neverweight Championship, but let's see if Evil actually has any sort of freaking balls left to actually take Aaron Wolf about his challenge for January 4th. But this is pathetic. You might as well retire the title. It's going to be worthless. It's going to be, I get it. All right, he's not going to defend it, so it's actually going to be preserved. We're going to have a long-term champion. This is not what the Neverweight Championship was established to be when the likes of Goto, Kenta, Minoru Suzuki, Tomochi E, Katsuri Shibata, Shiga Takagi raised the value of this title to be.
Think about it this way: the way you're reacting right now to Evil, think about like how sweet it is when he does drop the title.
Pray to God it's friggin' tomorrow night, which I know it's not going to be. He probably won't defend that shit till Wrestle Kingdom, and he probably still won't even defend it then.
I
Pathetic.
mean, can you blame Evil? I mean, he's
No,
the
because that's the only damn thing he has. It's not like he has anything else. He's never going to be the world champion, so he's got to try and hold the title hostage. That's all House of Torture can do. All they can try and do is hold the title hostage because they can't win if their career is dependent on it.
I mean, we did see that Evil can wrestle at the G1 finals, did we not?
After the Clown Posse was neutralized, he used them pretty much the whole match when he had no other choice, and even then some.
Fair, that's fair.
You can't give me a justified reason why Evil as neverweight champion right now is a good thing. None. Damn it.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Moving on.
From there, we got tag team championships. IWGP tag team champions. Yuto Ice and Oscar, the Knockout Brothers, are they called?
Yes, the Knockout Brothers, who got a freaking revamped theme that was once used for Iron Mike Tyson.
They have a pretty dope theme.
I'm not gonna lie, I dig their swagger, I dig their theme, I dig their wrestling. Yeah, definition hard ass fight is the contest here, but also the subtle undertelling when I think about when they had the Young Lion Cup during the Destruction Core a few years ago. Who was involved in that? Oh, just these few men. And of course, we know the absolute blood rivalry since 2021, I think, that goes back with Yuto Ice and Uyamura, where accidents or not, he damn near took the man's arm out of his shoulder. We also saw during the Destruction Tour singles out before these men, and this was really a telltale for me. How good are two singles versus a long-term established tag team? The Knockout Brothers have held gold all across wherever they went, whether Germany, you name it, whatever. They have been a consistent force. The key word with them is consistent. Not over the last year have we had an IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion successfully defend their titles. They've lost them all at the zero. And here Asuka and Yuta Ice says, oh, the competition is there, but where's the standard? Where are the ones to hold it down? We're going to hold this thing on freaking lockdown. Get high, and boy, did we get high, all right. Uya almost took Yuta Ice's arm out of its socket once again. And Oscar, Jesus, he killed Shota practically here. But I love the intensity, the ferocity, the hunger, the drive of all four of these men to prove a point about the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, considering why is the Shota Umino Uyamura going after the singles title? They want to raise the tag team titles, not for themselves, but also raise the tag team division. Maybe they thought they could. Well, it wasn't meant to be the case here, and it damn sure wasn't easy for the Knockout Brothers, who proved their point with one victory in. And as right now, we'll go in the World Tag League as defending champions. But I love this match for many reasons. First off, I like Yuta Ice's swag and style. And if you can knock out the Stone Pit Bull, you're already a favorite with me because you show me that you can fight hard. Also, Uyamura and Shota Umino, they've really come into their own this year, particularly, especially with Shota Umino's second chapter, where he more lives at the now and not tries to foretell the later. And Uyamura, he's got Tanahashi future written all over him for Pete's sake. He channels so much of the ace. It is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. And he wasn't even Tanahashi's young lion. But I was very proud of the match that was brought, but the result didn't surprise me because I want to believe that New Japan is trying to make their championships matter again, most of them, if nothing else, their divisions. And the Knockout Brothers, who are two young studs that took out, might I add, two former veterans as singles that got together and won the titles, are proving a point.
Right. That's the thing of the Knockout Brothers. They come as advertised because they are straight up knock you out, drag them out, sluggers, whatever you want to call them. And they work so well as a unit. It's been a while in New Japan where we've seen like a almost unstoppable dominant tag team in the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team division, and I'm hoping that's what the Knockout Brothers are. Like they hold that title for so long that it takes like someone who almost like matched their levels to bring them down.
But you look at what Uyamura and Shota Umino did as a tag team here. Do they continue this pursuit, or do they focus on a different pursuit as singles? And while the Knockout Brothers are saying the competition there, I do wonder, what competition do you mean? Do you mean the unaffiliated? Do you mean the War Dogs within themselves? What other tag teams are there? Actually, because I'm looking at the roster. Off the top of my head, I don't see that many. And again, World Tag League is the end of the year. But you gotta imagine there's gonna be some worldwide involvement, probably DDT and AEW if I had to guess. So
you know what the tag team needs to do? You know what needs the tag team needs? Goddamn Shane and Mike need to get their hunky Aussie asses back to the division.
There you go. That was one I was figuring out. Again, former IWGP Tag Team Champions in their own right. But again, Ash, B0. So I am curious to see how far the Knockout Brothers take this division and these championships. Now the 111th IWGP Tag Team Champions, and it's a hell of a first defense when you literally have Yuto Ice having an ice bag on that shoulder that took him out in the first place. And Uyamura almost got the work done again with that move. But kudos to Yuto preventing the deadbolt suplex as well, because I'm pretty sure if Uya hit that, we would have had new tag champs.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I want to say this about Shota Umino. Where the hell was this Shota Umino at Wrestle Kingdom?
I have no idea.
Right?
Second chapter.
I love seeing this. I want to see more of this Shota Umino, the more aggressive, never back down, never say die, in your face type Shota Umino.
Yeah, but also one that doesn't believe that he's all that in a bag of chips. I almost feel like Shota Umino caught his shot way too quickly. Or maybe it was given the shot, like trusted the shot too quickly, like took on this trust himself, thought that it was inherently, proposed to him, and thought they was going to run the ball with it. Maybe he thought it was going to be like, like Kazuchika Okada did when he first came back and confronted the Ace. And look at how long that took.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone has their own path, and I guess with Shota Umino, it's going to take a little bit longer because it's good that the crowd's finally starting to warm up to him now.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because it came across like management set him up to fail because they felt he was ready, but the crowd did not. And it really showed. And with this new transformation, the what was it called again? The
second chapter.
Second chapter, yeah. Shota Umino's finally found himself. And if he keeps going down this path, maybe not next year, but maybe 2027, I see Shota Umino as IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
That's a fair shout. Then again, he hasn't held a singles piece of gold yet, and he's pretty much challenged for all of them. And yeah, it's just one of those things also with New Japan. To garner that respect, you have to be able to be looked at as someone that you can trust to hold the standard of IWGP, the International Wrestling Grand Prix. Strong style, not necessarily Inokiism, but Tokan, a fighting spirit that represents what the Lion Mark is supposed to be about, what New Japan Pro Wrestling is supposed to be about. And while you don't have all these names that have pretty much set that precedent so much, this new generation has that pressure to carry New Japan Pro Wrestling and evolve it even more on that through the future. The new generation pretty much have had their trial by fire this year particularly. And I think King of Pro Wrestling is finally starting to bring that together, including for the women's side, which for a long part I thought was being ignored.
It got to the point where I completely forgot there was an IWGP women's title.
Damn.
I know, that's really sad.
Well, now you know for sure it exists now, don't you?
Right? It's like, oh yeah, those who definitely put that on the map again. I was like, oh yeah, this title exists. Yep, this title exists.
Again, respect IWGP. Period.
From there, we have the IWGP Global title, Yota Tsuji versus Gabe Kidd.
Good Lord.
This was my match of the night.
Yep, I agree. Not going to get no argument from me. Continue.
Like, holy shit. Like, okay, so I haven't watched any of their matches they had prior to this, but if this match is an indication of how those other matches were, I might have to go check those out as well. Because holy shit, this match was like, the way, like, you can tell these two wrestled each other and know each other so well because they were able to like telegraph, counter, and reverse each other's moves. Like, oh my, this was again everything I love in a pro wrestling match. It was
Your
kept.
thing, your
Sorry.
thing is your thing's everything I love a pro wrestling match. My thing is that's professional wrestling. Damn it, continue. I like that.
We are catchphrase.
We got standard. Oh, we're not Meltzer, but anyway, continue.
Yeah, I love this match. I want to. I might binge watch the other matches because like Gabe Kidd as I love how he shit talks. I love the he's like Uemura where he takes like these basic fundamentals, like yeah, basic fundamentals, and use it to the best of abilities. Like it's not what you do, it's how you do the moves, and he just makes the best out of the moments and the minutes, and just it's just the same with Yoda Tsuji too, especially like how fast he is as well. Like they were able to match speed.
Well, again, it goes back to also the familiarity in them since the Young Lions days in the dojo, but also the respect. And also, both men are definitely not the conventional. They are the unconventional. They forge their own path, they do things their own way, and they both hold IWGP New Japan to a standard of being the absolute best. For me, I look at Gabe Kidd like this. He loves New Japan, but he also loves the fight. Of course, we see him in AEW. And it's one of those things where people question his loyalty, his growth, his passion for New Japan Pro Wrestling, his Tolkon. Of course, going all the way back to January 4th against, 5th, but against Kenny by God Omega. And of course, Shigeru Takagi, who learned the hard way, Gabe Kidd is IWGP standard, as of course Gabe Kidd defended success against Shingo, as we saw shortly after the G1 climax, I believe, on the G1 final stage. But it's also one of those things that Yoda Tsuji, yeah, he came back. He won this title off David Finlay, as of course we know. And Gabe Kidd won it off him after these two were literally left in a no contest situation because neither man could continue. And they finally had the legitimate one-on-one where Gabe Kidd got the better Yoda Tsuji to win a title that represents IWGP. The letters and the value of the IWGP, the I being slightly bigger than the others, goes to the importance in raising that standard of fighting spirit that the Lion Mark New Japan Pro Wrestling has represented since 1972. And you figure out the drop downs, the counters, the continues again. You got to figure out how many times they did those reps in the dojo. Goes back to, again, those dojo practices. And what we're really telling here, neither man wanted to give an inch. Neither man was not going to take surrender. It was not going to back. That was not going to stay down. To beat one another, Yosuji particularly, he'd have to pin Gabe Kidd. And this is a first, by the way, I believe, since Gabe Kidd's been back. He made Gabe Kidd tap out. He broke the man's body versus his spirit. Gabe Kidd's body wavered versus his mind, where Gabe Kidd is his own worst enemy and his greatest strength. He's his own mental case. But somehow, some way, in what you could probably call two rivals, arguably Gabe Kidd's greatest rival and Yoda Tsuji vice versa. These two are literally a rivalry for generations for New Japan Pro Wrestling, as Gabe Kidd pointed out. You think about the great rivalries of New Japan history, of course, Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega, Shinsuke Nakamura, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Antonio Inoki, insert name here, you know exactly what I mean. Tetsuya Naito, Kazuchika Okada.
Even AJ Styles.
Yes, exactly. Gabe Kidd and Yoda Tsuji is now the standard of a rivalry, I believe, in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it showed here. So I was very, very impressed with this match and quite surprised by the outcome when you look at both men. At the end of the day, Ash, we're on the road to the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
What's the path look like for anybody? The IWGP Global Championship, that's basically your ticket somehow to be on that stage. And we've heard from both Yoda and Gabe, they want to enter the Tokyo Dome with the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion with a different intention in mind to possibly be in the main event and become IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, if not right up there at that main stage. And for those that don't know, let's just call it what it is. The Global Heavyweight Champion is because New Japan, they knew the mistake they made when they got rid of the IWGP International Championship. Let's call it Intercontinental, excuse me. Let's call it what it is. It still pisses me off to say that freaking people like Tomoyasu E never got to host. I look at my little lapel pin of it. God, I missed that title.
This title, like the importance Yoda Tsuji and Gabe Kidd made for this title, it's Like, not only is it a secondary title, but it feels like another world title there as well.
Exactly.
And I think I remember the phrase now. It's making the most out of the least, like what they did in their Young Lion days. And I love the finish as a callback to that because Yoda Tsuji tapped him out with the Boston Crab.
The fundamental of the dojo itself. That's exactly right. And of course, we saw the afterwards the subtle respect because again, Tokon raises Tokon. As of course, you saw not only bound respect, they bound respect on that lion mark. That's New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're New Japan. Senior Pro Wrestler Ichiban #1. Damn it.
Not just respect for like the lion mark, but the respect the two factions now have to within each other as well now, because it seems like they've either formed a truce or some type of alliance.
Yeah, this is weird to me. I was not. First off, bring gold, bring bodies. That's always been the War Dogs mentality. But I also said iron sharpen iron. And I also said verbatim the unaffiliated and the War Dogs. No two factions have shaped each other, pushed each other, tested each other stronger or more predominantly this year than those guys. Whether G1, whether tournaments, whether feuds. Hell, we saw a trio of unaffiliated singles matches during the Road to Destruction, during Destruction in Kobe. And you got to remember, Yoda Tsuji took that title from David Finlay. David Finlay Tsuji ran the match back in the G1. David Finlay got the win. They ran the match back again, Destruction in Kobe. Tsuji won, put out the hand. David Finlay didn't shake it. For the first time, I think, since the War Dogs have been involved in New Japan Pro Wrestling and the Savage King was born, I think David Finlay humbled himself in saying that maybe there is a better man than me. Maybe it takes more than a savage from 4 generations to lead and grow New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I think, in a way, the unaffiliated and the War Dogs realize that.
And it could just be like also the two factions have a common enemy, and maybe them bonding together, they'll actually like have like a numbers advantage against the House of Torture, who's all about the numbers advantage.
That's another point I didn't think about as well, because Lord knows the clown posse seems to be getting more and more numbers each year. But I honestly want to think that they put that behind them. They're no longer dealing with them, and they just want to literally be the ones to raise and lead New Japan Pro Wrestling. Because between all those people in there, you got the headliners, you got the heavyweights, you got the tag specialists, you got people with no family, but you got people with respect that have been sharing the ring with each other multiple times this year. And now you got Yoda Tsuji, the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, for the second time now. Curious to see where that leads to and what the future holds for, honestly, Gabe Kidd. Because with that now gone, Gabe Kidd no longer holds that singles gold. Does he still want that gold? Does he still have the same goal in mind? And how does he get there? It feels very weird. We're in a state of reformation, I think, in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I don't think we fully understand it yet, but I think this might be the best thing that could happen for this company in a long time.
Exactly. It's funny how you mentioned that because this past Monday, I was on James' podcast again. I also brought up that very same point, how New Japan is in a rebuilding stage where they're doing a good job of not only focusing on the new up and coming talents, but also with their loyal mainstays that have been there for quite some time that haven't gotten those opportunities yet.
Yeah. Not many of those mainstays left, though. I will tell you that much. There gum.
Right. And we mentioned like how some of them moved on to like different companies, in which I don't fault them for doing so, because you look at the people who left to go to the other company, they did everything they could in New Japan. Like, there was nothing left for them to do.
Yeah, I mean, look at it all the way back. Prince Devitt, Shinsuke Nakamura, you fast forward the clock, Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, Switchblade Jay White, unfortunately injured, get well soon. It is one of those things where I do think to a certain degree they believe they did enough for New Japan Pro Wrestling and they wanted to explore different opportunities. But why I don't hold loyalty to any company, you can definitely tell in Japan, particularly, there is a sense of company pride when you truly are homegrown and want to put this company on your back, be at the forefront of it, not necessarily just be at the forefront of this business, but put this company at the forefront of it. And I do think there's a lot of sense of that in New Japan, particularly for some of the talent there.
Yeah, which is also going to be another quite going to be the challenge for our newly crowned IWGP Heavyweight Champion, isn't it?
Well, considering you just came off the main event and the frontman Sasami Jr., who broke tradition last year, who beat Tetsuya Naito for that title and ushered in a true Saberism, 1 year later, we truly see now who is the strongest professional wrestler in the world. And he did it with one arm in the process. But go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, we got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Konosuke Takeshita, and I will say Takeshita put up a really good fight in defeating Zack Sabre Jr. because it's like he almost beats it's like pretty much he beat Zack at his own game because the way he was able to counter Zack's submissions and like get out of holds too was just like, oh shit. Like
he knew he had to
studied.
be that. Yeah, he knew he had to be a little bit technical. And Rocky Romero also helped at ringside as well when he told him get to the ropes, where the ropes are, etc. Plus his reach also played his advantage when it came to rope breaks. So again, it was their third singles encounter this year.
Right. As much as like I said about the Suji Gabe Kidd match, if this match was an indicator of how the other two matches are, I have to go check those two matches out as well.
Well, one was in the G1 and the other one was G1 quarterfinals.
It just there was this one submission hold that Zack got Takeshita in, and I'm just like, how the hell did you get out of that? Like, how were you able to make it to the ropes, Takeshita? Because the way he was tangled up is nasty.
Again, the way that Zack Sabre Jr. is so reactive as a professional wrestler to just find a way to grab a limb even after you throw a big offensive move at him. And that was also quite possibly a lot of Saberism in this match, as you saw as well. Again, Zack Sabre Jr. is reactive when it comes to his situation. When he sees a body part, whether he's out of it or not, or just got a clock freaking knocked out, he grabs it. At one point, he literally grabbed both of Takeshita's arms and a leg, but a free leg allowed Takeshita to force the break. I know exactly the move that you're talking about. But there was a key moment here where, again, that stomp of the arm on the apron, bracing the arm up against the steel rod along the ring versus the boards. Takeshita's right arm, which, of course, is that arm that he drives his power from, especially for straight murder, was never the same after that.
No, not at all. Like, Zack did a really good number on him, and because you got to take away like how am I gonna say this? Yeah, he knew to take out the arm because that's how he does the Falcon Arrow and the Blue Thunder Bomb that he uses. He's put a lot of people away with.
Yeah, Raging Fire.
Exactly. I think Takeshi is like the only person who actually wins matches with Falcon Arrows. Let's be real here.
Well, he couldn't cure because, to your point, he was able to cure it, but his arm was such a true pain, he couldn't fall on the pin in the process.
Right, because that's how Zack is as like a submission wrestler. He is like a shark that smells blood in the water. When he sees an opening, he will chomp at you.
Yeah, but he also tested his own Tolkien finding spirit when he literally asked Takeshita, Coño, more, knock me out. He knocked you out all right a couple of times sideways. Good grief.
Right.
With a bad arm.
Yeah, no kidding, too.
But yeah, this was definitely everything I expected when it came to proving who the strongest, who deserves to call themselves IWGP champion, who deserves to hold the title that represents those letters. And Takeshita, again, looking at the G1 of the Alpha documentary and seeing him and Yuka's relationship, very cute. But seeing Takeshita's mindset on this, in the importance of, I'm not a company man. I am the professional wrestling business. I am the strongest in the business. Doing things unprecedented, being triple contracted, let's forget. AEW, New Japan, and DDT Pro. Schedules across all three companies, my tie, and including a match this freaking weekend at Wrestle Dream.
Right.
So it's just one of those things where you look at Takeshita and how much of this business he puts on himself. I was very impressed that he was able to thrive through the pressure, knowing the importance of this that he's been pursuing since he was 4 years old and actually obtaining it. We've had a title change now 2 years in a row at Camp Pro Wrestling at Goku Mahal by the G1 Climax champions since Zack Sabre Jr. started this.
This might become the new tradition going forward, possibly. Instead of waiting to call your shot at Wrestle Kingdom, you just call it wherever you feel like you're going to win the match.
Well, apparently, Goku Mahal apparently at that stage. And again, it was not easy. But to your point, a power drive knee finally connects. he was finally able to follow up with the freaking raging fire, and somehow he was able to put down Zack Sabre Jr. And for the first time ever, Kenoto Takeshita is IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He freaking did it.
Right? I'm actually okay with this because I went into this mind with two mindsets. On the one hand, I wanted Zach to win because I want him to continue this IWGP heavyweight title reign. But on the other hand, it was just like, how would a Takeshita title reign, like IWGP heavyweight title run, would be like? And it's not without some concerns as well, because Takeshita being a dual contracted wrestler, triple contracted wrestler who also has commitments with AEW, and sometimes I understand that sometimes those commitments will take priority, but because of those contracts and the commitments and priorities he has over in AEW, how will the two companies, AEW and New Japan, work around the schedule? And how often will Takeshita appear at these New Japan shows? Because that's one of the other concerns, like the fans had about him winning the title, that I see, not just the New Japan faithfuls who just only watch New Japan, but the local fans as well. Their concerns is how often is he going to appear on the shows? Because especially when he was never openweight title, it only seemed like he was only there for the big shows. And I'm just basing this off how the previous AEW wrestlers who were IWGP heavyweight champions and how those bookings were. That kind of soured on me about AEW contracted people winning IWGP heavyweight or any IWGP heavyweight titles, because even though to me personally Takeshita is also signed with New Japan, I see him as more of an AEW wrestler. That's probably because I haven't seen a lot of his works in New Japan this year, because I got a lot to catch up on, to be honest with you. And yeah, because I'm a little concerned, because it's like it's either with Takeshita's heavyweight title run, it's either going to be third time's the charms, they're going to learn from their mistakes, or three strikes, you're out.
Well, I understand that, and Chris Charlton and Walter Stewart, they also echo that sentiment, but Konosuke also said, if you boo me, that is up to you, I will fight harder. If you cheer for me and continue to follow and support me, I promise to be the best IWGP World Heavyweight Champion I can be, and give you one hell of a ride, and make sure I bring you the best matches possible. Again, being triple contracted, DDT Pro, AEW, and New Japan Pro Wrestling, he does not belong just to one company. He says he belongs to the business. This is from the Alpha. The Alpha is for professional wrestling to make it greater than any sport and greater than any form of entertainment. When people say professional wrestling, he wants them to think of Kenoto Takeshita at the forefront. When people say the strongest, he wants them to say the Alpha at the forefront. When people say a must-see attraction, spectacle, competition, he wants professional wrestling, Kenoto Takeshita, to be at the very forefront of that conversation. And he definitely does not want to go into the Tokyo Dome with zero defenses. He even called out, I know how this usually goes, so who is first to step up to the Alpha? And much to the surprise, it wasn't a young gun. It wasn't anyone from the new generation. It was Hiroki Goto. And of course, Hiroki Goto, they have a long-term history, let's forget, if you go all the way back to a New Japan Cup. So it's one of those things where Konosuke right now is already being tested at the forefront by the old guard, by the actual previous champion, by the what if, ahead of Wrestle Kingdom. Because Chairman Shingo Bayashi on the King of Pro Wrestling Post Conference made it official in Hiroshi Tanahashi's final appearance in his hometown, Gifu, apologies if I screw up the name, at freaking November 2nd, final homecoming, which also will be the finals of the Best Super Juniors Tag League. It will be Hiroshi Tanahashi challenging his young lion, Yota Tsuji, for the Global Heavyweight Championship. Yota Tsuji wanted to do that in the first run. He didn't get a chance to. Now he wants to do that before he doesn't get a chance to. And we already saw Gabe Kidd give Tanahashi that chance because of respect there. Yeah. Yota Tsuji, though, was underneath Tanahashi's wing. So we're finally getting Yota Tsuji with Tanahashi one-on-one for this title. It's
Oh,
going to be huge.
The student versus mentor. I love those type of matches.
Exactly. And also, Hiroki Goto will get his chance to challenge Goto Takeshita for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And both those matches are Tanahashi's final homecoming Sunday, November 2nd, along with the Best of the Super Juniors World Tag League Finals. So stay tuned for more on that. But he also was very poignant when he talked about, again, I understand the pressure, the importance of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. He didn't expect himself to be here at this point. He never expected to necessarily hold this title, let alone represent these letters. But he's willing to take it to that next standard, to be a fighting champion. Yes, he may not be there at all the tours, all the shows, etc. But that's what happens when you are literally doing things that no one else has ever done. He wants to do things that have never been done. In a way, he wants to do what Kenny Omega wanted to do, but literally do it. He wants to change the world of professional wrestling. And he thinks being triple contracted with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship will help him with that forefront, because whether or not you see him strictly only in New Japan, no matter where he goes, we're going to see Kenosuke Takeshita and know he's the IWGP Heavyweight Champion because he's going to have that title with him. So it's one of those things where a lot of unknown can be brought into this, but it's not like an acquisition. It's not like an underwhelmment. It's just one of those things where a single man wants to take forward the business, not collecting belts, but this time representing the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And we just have to see how that shapes out for the Alpha and how we go along with him, whether we support it, whether we don't like it, along for the ride, AEW, DDT, or New Japan otherwise. And it would not surprise me if we see Kenosuke Takeshita back on Dynamite this Wednesday in the backstage segment, confronting Kazuchika Okada, where, to your point, this weekend at Wrestle Dream, which we're covering, by the way, folks, I can't wait, it will be Kenosuke and Okada challenging Brodino for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And there was a very interesting segment on AEW's YouTube channel, in case you didn't see it. Don Kyle's birthday, 60-some-odd birthday, barely had a celebration with his family. Kenosuke wasn't there. He was via satellite, because, of course, he won. And Okada, I pushed the wrong button. Sorry. Oh, yeah, you didn't do that on purpose. But Don Kyle's like, no, that's fine, champ. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, there's going to be some tension between Okada and Takeshita. That's going to be interesting. And who knows, maybe the IWGP Heavyweight title could play into that as well.
It very possibly could. Let's not forget, Kazuchika Okada won that title against Switchblade Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom 17 and put every young boy in their place, including one, Kaito Kiyomiya. So, again, a lot to think about coming out of King of Pro Wrestling with the tag leads, with Final Homecoming, with the Alpha holding the cornerstone of New Japan, and no young gun came out challenging him for it, but Goto did. So do the younger generation trust Goto to win it back? Or do they just not care right now? Is there a different itinerary on mind for Uya Uemura, Shota Umino, David Finlay, Gabe Kidd, Yota Tsuji, you name it. Again, it was Goto that came out confronting Kenosuke, nobody else.
Yeah, because Goto was, I think Goto is like trying to pick up where he left off, because as much as I like Zack Sabre Jr. being IWGP Heavyweight Champion, again, I did not like the circumstances and how it happened, because it was very misfortunate. It had to be at the hands of an injury, and I don't think Goto wanted that either. And so he's going to try to do his best to pick up where he left off. And that's another concern I raised too, because I want Takeshita to, even though I have my concerns, I'm also along for the ride. Because say what you will about Takeshita, he's earned the IWGP Heavyweight title. Legit. And you can also make the argument with just going off the accolades he had this year, you can make the argument that he's Wrestler of the Year for 2025.
Yeah, January 5th, he, of course, won the Never Openweight Championship while holding on to the AEW National Championship. Back-to-back days in the Tokyo Dome, beating Shingo Takagi and Tomohiro Ishii. He won the Never Openweight Championship, and not only did he win it, he went on to have the most successful defenses in that title's history in a single run.
Yeah,
so from that perspective.
Sorry. And I was about to say, and he also made that title important. We talk about it's the man makes the title, not the title doesn't make the man. And Takeshita certainly did that with the Never Openweight title.
He won against Hiroshi Tanahashi in his final match here in America. And of course, his biggest accomplishment in his career, he won the G1 Climax. Now he's won the 100 Worldwide Championship. It's truly been the year of the Alpha.
Mm-hmm. Even though I did have my concerns, I am along for the ride, and I hope they don't cut Takeshita's run short because it's not a good look to have your G1 title, like G1 tournament winner, win the title just so he can be transitional and where we can pick up where we left off with the Goto Revolution storyline.
Yeah, well, again, between what happens outside the title, whether or not we have power struggle again or something else inside, Konosuke's already challenging himself where you think about previous Wrestle Kingdoms. Before last year, all the IWGP champions did go into Wrestle Kingdom with 0 defenses beyond King of Pro Wrestling. Zack Sabre Jr. tested that fortitude, defending that title now in over 13 different countries, might I add. Not to mention last year, after winning at Regal Super Hall, he immediately defended it in London. Just saying. Konosuke now is defending, as far as we know, against Hiroki Goto at Final Homecoming. Will that be the only defense that he has? Will he actually go 0D? Will it be another defense before that? Will it be in New Japan Pro Wrestling or DDT or even AEW Wrestling? Because let's not forget, while we are talking about AEW and DDT, AEW has their round robin tournament coming up, the Continental Classic. You don't think Konosuke or defending champion Okada is not going to be involved in that freaking thing again?
Oh, they're definitely going to be involved.
I guarantee you they are.
I'm guessing that's probably like for the unified title. I think that's going to be like the big story going into the tournament is Takeshita and Okada.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Okada is a defending Continental Classic champion, but to your point, Continental Championship kind of longer exists. Now he's the unified champion, so I would say yes. And again, we're not surprised that both men are involved, probably in opposite boxes, because again, they didn't put them in the same blocks. Again, they're not going to give us the one-on-one until it's right. And as we also learned from Chairman Shikabayashi, we do not have Wrestle Dynasty. New Year's Dash is back on January 5th. Wrestle Kingdom is a one-day event. Wrestle Kingdom 20 is January 4th. And speaking of people that are going to be in the Tokyo Dome, want to give a shout out again to Stardom. The World of Stardom champion Saya Kamatani will be competing in the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom 20. Literally, at this point, if that woman's not the freaking Tokyo Sports MVP of the year, I don't know what the hell Japanese professional wrestling is doing. She's been the standard of Stardom since freaking Dream Queendom last year in December. And now she's defending her World of Stardom Championship November 3rd, one day after Final Homecoming against Momo Watanabe. November 2nd, November 3rd might literally change the faces of Stardom and New Japan as we know it.
Yeah, we are going to be in for an interesting road to Wrestle Kingdom, aren't we?
Hey, that's the truth. And of course, it all starts with the Best of Super Juniors World Tag League. And also, they did announce the Team Series. So I'll go ahead and just share this with you real quick. And whether or not you choose to do a preview or do like a review like we did before after the finals, let me know. Happy to help you. But also, just let your fans know, too, because at the end of the day, you need to continue to engage people with your passion, what you love, because you offer a whole lot. Hey, block folks, is just going to Gucci and Daya. Yo and Master Wato. Their Dragon Dia song stuck in my head. Damn it. Hiromu Takahashi and Gato. Put that in perspective. Clark Connors and Daki Nagai. Templario and Jacob Austin Young. And Doki and Show.
The current champions.
Damn it. And the B block is El Desperado and Kuakai. Tiger Mask Yamato. Kushida and Yuki Yoshioka. Robbie Eagle and Kosei Fuja, last year's winners, Ichiban Sweet Boys. Tajimori and Robbie X, and Yoshinobu Kamaru and Dick Togo.
Oh, wow, that's a very short tournament we have.
Yeah, I'm about to say, look at that. You only got 5 dates.
Wow, I can actually keep up with it. Because I've never been able to keep up with the Junior Tag League.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey. Maybe they made it a little easier for you at this point. Again, it starts October 23rd and culminates November 2nd at Final Homecoming. But yeah, Ash, Camp Pro Wrestling once again changed the landscape and tested and proved who is the strongest. Congratulations again to Sari, Yoda and Konosuke Takeshita, all brand new IWGP champions. Wow.
Right. a night of title changes.
To say the least. And a night of a standard, and apparently a trust or truce, as you put, towards who might literally shape New Japan's future as we know it too. Out of mutual respect, if applicable. I didn't think the War Dogs was capable of that. This is crazy.
Mhm. And at the end of the day, that's what the line mark is about: fighting spirit and respect.
Hi. All right. Well, I mean, again, I certainly enjoyed the show and enjoyed having this conversation with you. Any further thoughts that you have at this point, Ash? Gotta learn how to close out your fingers from time
Yeah,
to time. Yeah.
no worries.
She's
I
learning, folks. She's in a jazz of our YouTube channel. All right. She's gonna learn how this thing works. Yeah.
yeah, I the Takeshi's IWGP Heavyweight Title run. It whether it be long or short, we're in for a good time,
Damn right.
and I'm looking forward to see how this goes. That's all I can say for now, because I hope I'm proven wrong with it. That's the more important thing is I want to be proven wrong. I want to feel like AEW and New Japan can properly work together, and this partnership does not feel one-sided anymore.
Yeah, well, again, Konosuke Takeshita is New Japan and AEW. The last person
Mhm.
that held the IWGP Broadway Championship from AEW was John Moxley, and Tetsuya Naito won it very shortly. But to your point, again, it's very weird looking at inter-promotional relationships and who truly is better respected, represented, dedicated, etc. But so far, AEW and NJPW, I've been enjoying the ride with their unique partnerships and crossovers at times. Maybe the crossover are too much, but at least now we know Konosuke Takeshita, he's both New Japan and AEW, so this actually makes more sense. And we'll see what it means towards Wrestle Kingdom 20 as a whole.
Exactly. If he does have that title for Wrestle Kingdom, because please don't make him transitional. That's another thing too. Do not make Takeshita transitional.
Gotta say, don't jinx it, Ash. Well, folks, let your thoughts be known in the comments down below. If you're a fan of New Japan, if you're a fan of Stardom, DDT, AEW, if you have what if thoughts as well towards all four companies' outlook towards the rest of 2025, what do you think the future of the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion? How far does the Alpha take us on this ride for the time? Did you enjoy this conversation here? Would you like to see more of Ash's chats on New Japan Pro Wrestling? Would you like to see more of Ash's chats regarding anything New Japan Japanese wrestling or other fans wrestling? Because again, she is also an AEW fan. Let her know in the comments down below. Subscribe today to Barry for Wrestling. Don't be a dickhead. Join Barry's Army. And as I always encourage, just to live and enjoy professional wrestling. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and be the freaking Rod Ronnie or the Johnny Gilbert to Ash. This has been Ash's Chats. Subscribe to my friend Ash. Don't be a dickhead. You're watching exclusively on her YouTube channel. This is Ash's Chats, Batty for Wrestling. You'll never know what she's up to, what she's batty for next to bring towards a discussion with you. I'm always happy to collab when I can, but at the end of the day, let Ash let her own voice and her own opinions and respect them at the end of the day. If you want to follow me, I'm the Simple Man. Find me on Fox 916 for all things wrestling. Shout out to the ATW fam. You will see me next time on your screen, simulcasting, simply predicting Wrestle Dream. This Thursday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ash, you're of course invited along. If you're a chatter on screen, let me know. I would love to have you. As always, you're always invited on Simply Predicting. You know that. And again, Simple Session with Walter Cruz. It's also coming very soon. One-on-one conversation. Last of course, was with Ash. You'll see what me and Walter get up to, whether we rage, rant, or just have a funny time with puns. And me and Papagino will be your predictions post-mortem tomorrow with W Crown Jewel, 6 p.m. Standard Time. That's Wednesday, October 15th. So stay tuned for me and Papagino talking about W Crown Jewel and putting the predictions to rest in how Team No DQ did. At the end of the day, folks, I simply say this. There are no losers, there are no winners, there are no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and just love professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that. But that being said, for Ash, I'm basically just her side panelist. I'm happy to join her for the ride and help her through this fun time as she becomes more comfortable in delivering her passion, her personality to you, because damn it, you got a lot to offer and you're sure more than capable enough
Thank
for it.
you.
And I hope that you all enjoyed Ash's chat as well as my take, as we love New Japan Pro Wrestling and love Japanese professional wrestling and professional wrestling in general. Damn it. So with that being said, I close things my own way, but Ash, don't you have things that you like to do your own way? How you want to go ahead and send the people home?
Have a good night, everyone.
There
Thanks
you
for
go.
watching.
Simple and subtle. Until next time, make a positive impact in life. Have a good night. She's Ash. I'm Noah. This has been Ash's Chat, and you have been watching Batty for Wrestling. Have a good night, folks. Goki Genyo. Sayonara. Bye-bye.